So we're going to do our monthly update on the 20-gallon rimless planted aquarium, and last video is pretty much the same, even the one before that. We're talking about, the new growth of some of the stuff we replanted, which was these S-repin bushes around here, and then there was a couple we did back there. And I guess you could say that these right here too, and this Bakupa is pretty new, but it's pretty established at this point. But so this month I'll kind of go through that, and we'll just see what else we can find to talk about. I know there's some stuff that's been going on, but I just did a big trim on this again, so you can see the Bakupa Carolina is actually all trimmed. It's usually, touching the surface most of the time, but I probably shouldn't have trimmed it and shot this video before I even trimmed it, because it actually did look, at least it'd show you guys what it looked like, kind of like overgrown, because it did look kind of cool. But I was doing a water change, and I pre-recorded a video for, you guys will already see it by the time this one is uploaded, because it'll be uploaded before this one. But I did a video on trimming the S-repins and kind of how to do that, just a little how-to, because those always do pretty good. But so let's see here. So I've trimmed these quite a few times now. I think I would say about 3 times I've been able to trim. I think this one only like twice, but these back here I've definitely trimmed like 3 times now. So you can see it's kind of filling in where it's bushing up more, especially these right here. You can see how thick they're getting, kind of like how these used to be. These are kind of thinning out now, because the way I've been kind of trimming them, they're kind of, I don't really know what's happening with, I don't know. I don't think nothing's wrong with them at all. They just kind of look different to me. But you can see how, when I trim, these got kind of long again, and I trimmed them. Of course, when you trim a lot off like that, you get a lot of yellowing on top, because obviously the light can't penetrate through all that much leaves when you get it so tall, because it was up to like here again. But you can see how thick this is. This is usually how it is. Right here is kind of, it's growing back, but it looks like it's kind of dying off right there. But otherwise, looks pretty good. I mean, for what it is. I mean, again, this tank's never had CO2 or anything. So I mean, really, to get a tank, as far as we got in this tank and the look of everything, I mean, I'm so surprised how without CO2. I mean, that's kind of the whole point, is to like kind of show what you can do without CO2, because I knew I could be able to do something pretty cool. And even like the Monte Carlo, like the carpet, like the Monte Carlo isn't really a great, I mean, it's a good beginner carpet, but usually, I mean, it won't grow very well without CO2. So, if you see Monte Carlo, just never, it'll look okay without CO2, but usually people can't get it to grow that well, even without CO2. And, with CO2, you can obviously tell, I mean, how amazing it can look, and, how thick people get it. But without CO2, I mean, obviously we've had problems, right now, that we've solved. It's obviously growing back a little bit. You see all that light green. But what I've been kind of doing is I'm kind of trimming all the dead stuff, so you see kind of like these spots, and that actually works, trimming and letting the new stuff grow. And you can see right here really good, see all that new growth. So it'll all come back, it's just a matter of time. But without CO2, everything takes forever, so your tank doesn't look as great. And you have to stare and look at it like that for a while, but it's whatever. I mean, but this will be the last tank. I don't think I'll ever have a non-CO2 tank again. After this, I'm pretty much going all CO2 on my tanks to make them look, absolutely the best they could possibly be. But I don't know, it depends. I might have a nano or something that we might do again without CO2, but this tank's done pretty surprised at how, I mean, people every day think I'm lying when I say I don't have CO2 in this tank. So I guess that's, kind of rewarding to hear that. But so back to this. So obviously we planted those two so we could finish out that row that we were talking about. And obviously the the Monte Carlo obviously is filled up back there now. It's actually going past it now, so that's pretty cool. So maybe behind there will get kind of filled up too, which doesn't matter at this point, but it'll at least cover up the area so it doesn't so nothing's getting kicked up in that filter, because that's usually what browns these sponges pretty bad. Is fish kick, or really these auto sinkless kicking up these ADA soil. But you can see this they're getting the height there. This back one's doing a little bit better, but they'll fill in and look just like the rest. And so I mean, other than this, I think this might be the final look of this tank before it gets, totally tore down or redone. So I mean, I don't think I'll do anything else. At this point, I'm pretty much just letting it grow out and to see what we can, to see what it can do by the time I have to do something. Because when I plan to move this, I'm going to keep this gate for now. But once I get settled in and I get the stand built, which we're going to replace it and do something different, because I want all the tanks to match this time. Well, when I do the other tanks, so I'm going to use this for something else and actually build, your typical stand, but I'll do something really cool where it all matches. Do like a really nice gray or something where it looks all modern, just like, like a lot of these ADA display tanks do. So, other than, I mean, I know we got the S-Repins over here. Got a little bit of algae growth right there, see that? Snails will be feasting that. But, yeah, we got these two. So they're finally actually starting to grow. This one, obviously, is getting the more light because it's out in the open. But this one's kind of behind there, so it's getting there. But so I'm hoping that kind of just grows in so it hides the back of that Jawford. Not that you even see it in the first place, but, just something, whatever. So we'll have a really big bush of, I mean, this whole bush is probably like 15 inches long. If you come from all the way here to all the way to back. So, but yeah, I mean, this tank will look pretty cool. At least by the time I think, I wouldn't say it's in its prime. I mean, I think this tank was in its prime a while back. I mean, of course it wasn't all filled in like it is now, but before all this happened, I mean, if you look back, like, in some of my videos, I mean, this tank actually looked really good, even when it wasn't all filled in. I mean, just everything was bright green, but, nothing wrong with how it looks now. When you get up close, sometimes you pick out the details, but when you stand back and you just look at the whole thing, you could tell, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this at all. Obviously, I'm going to pick it because, I think I can I know I can do better. But, people look at this and they really like it, so that's really what matters. But, and it's so weird how, when the water level's down, because after a week this thing will be down like an inch and a half. It's weird how when the water's low like that, the tank just looks 10 times different and just doesn't look as good. And then when you do a water change and fill all the way back to the top, it just changes the whole look of the tank. And that's kind of like how it is right now. It just looks pretty much really good. The water looks really good. But, and then this, I didn't even see this, but the S-Repin is kind of curving around this rock and kind of going out, which I kind of I remember talking about that in an update, like eventually putting another stem right there so it can kind of go around this rock. So that's kind of nice that it kind of did it naturally. This one is kind of curving out this way, so I'm hoping like it just kind of all just fills in right here, because I don't mind it doing, going out here a little. I don't really care. But yeah, a lot of the soil gets sucked over here. You can see how it's like almost like a cave. It just goes like down. A lot of the ADA gets sucked up because that's where I stick my siphon, because it's like a nice spot to hold the siphon while it's changing out the water. But might have to dump some soil, take some from the back and pour it in there, so that S-Repin screw can kind of fill in that hole right there. But this doing really good. This PPT, we never really talk about this, but you see there a lot of root growth. It's kind of nice. It's all naturally attached to this rock. All the roots, they go down into the soil now. So it's been like that for probably a year now. But once those roots hit the soil, the thing just grows like crazy. And then same here, back here. I don't know. I can't really see the roots are going. I don't think they've hit, the substrate yet, but it's definitely attached to the rock. I don't know if I can zoom in. Yeah, you can see those. They're all attached to the rock. So that thing ain't going nowhere anymore. But you see, it's probably doubled in growth by now, and then this one over here is still kind of struggling. You can see one new leaf is coming in, but it's just kind of doing its thing some. I'm hoping at least this one, by the time, it'd be really cool if this like kind of like takes over this top of this rock, and this one kind of does the same, like maybe just eventually works its way out over here. But I don't know. This was just a little something I added, and I didn't even know if it was gonna work out. But well, you see, yeah, you see right back here. There's actually a lot of leaves right back there. Actually, there's two new ones, one right there and one right there. But and then yeah, like the carpet. It's what it is at this point. I mean, without CO2, it's like what I mean. It's hard to keep up with something like this when you don't have everything a plant needs to fully thrive. But most people think it looks really good, so I mean, I just real picky about stuff sometimes. But I don't know about replanting, the more Bakupa or anything. At this point just kind of keep it how it is and just keep rolling, let everything just grow. Keep doing the maintenance, keep trimming, just kind of play it out until the end. And then when we go to rescape it, I think the rescape will be pretty cool. I'm definitely gonna probably reuse this rock, but I'm gonna order another like 30 pounds of Sirius stone and just see what I can do. I might order even more, but I mean, it's pretty expensive. 30 pounds is about $100, and I don't know if I want to spend a couple $100 because I still have to buy the new light. I need to buy a twin star, and that's about another 300. So it depends. I don't want to spend $1,000 rescaping this whole thing and all new equipment. So I'm going to get a new filter. I'm going to get a Osei, probably get the 350, and then the bigger tanks will have two 600s. But we'll see about all that. But this video is getting really long, so I'll probably end right now. So if you're watching still, thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe if you have any questions, any plants that I haven't mentioned. I pretty much mentioned it all, but if you have any questions of what anything is, whatever, anything about the equipment, how I do things, definitely let me know. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one.